So, when you hear the name Merlin, what pops into your head? For most of us, it's the classic image, right? The wise, long-bearded wizard, the mentor to King Arthur. But what if I told you that behind that familiar face is a story that's way darker, and honestly, a lot more interesting? It's an origin that doesn't start with magic. It starts with a plot to create the Antichrist.
Yeah, this is the guy we all know. He's the powerful, kind wizard who's always there for Arthur, guiding him, basically shaping the entire destiny of a kingdom. He is the magical heartbeat of Camelot. You know, for all intents and purposes, he's one of the greatest heroes in the whole literary canon.
But here's the thing. In the original legends, Merlin wasn't supposed to be a hero at all. In fact, he was engineered from the very beginning to be the ultimate villain, a weapon of pure chaos sent here to kickstart the apocalypse.
To really understand the hero Merlin became, we have to start with the monster he was supposed to be. His story kicks off with a pretty diabolical plan, one that was hatched deep in the shadows of the underworld.
The whole plan was as simple as it was absolutely terrifying. You see, the forces of darkness wanted to create their own sort of dark messiah, an Antichrist. Step 1. They pick a mortal woman of incredible virtue, a princess, or in some tellings, even a nun. Step 2. They send a demon, an incubus, to be the father. The goal? To create a child who is half human, half demon, and 100% chaos.
And when the child was finally born, he was, well, unsettling. He came out covered in hair, which was seen as a sign of his wild, inhuman side. And even creepier, he could speak like a fully grown man from the moment he was born. This was no ordinary baby. This was the underworld's chosen one, right on schedule.
So you've got this huge contrast staring you in the face. His intended destiny was to be a world ender. But his actual destiny? He became a world shaper, the kingmaker of legend. So what happened? How on earth did the Antichrist become the architect of Camelot?
Well, the answer comes down to a single moment. One act of faith that just changed everything. This is the absolute pivot point for Merlin's whole life, the moment his demonic programming got a complete and total rewrite. His mother, despite looking at this strange, kind of demonic baby, she didn't see a monster. She saw a soul that needed saving. So in this incredible act of love and desperation, she rushed him straight to a holy man, a guy named Blaise, to have him baptized. And that one choice, it turns out to be the single most important event of his life. And you know what? That baptism worked. It was like a miracle. It essentially wiped his evil purpose clean. He wasn't the Antichrist anymore. He became something new, what you might call a redeemed prophet. A being who got to keep all of his immense power, but was now totally free to choose how to use it.
Think about it in today's terms, right? The baptism didn't get rid of his demonic hardware. That's the raw, supernatural power he got from his demon dad. But what it did do is completely overwrite the demonic software. You know, the evil programming, that mission to destroy the world, gone.
This created a really cool dual nature in him. From his demonic side, from his father, he kept the ability to see the past with perfect clarity. But from God, kind of like a reward for his mother's faith, he was given a brand new gift, the power to see the future. He literally became a living bridge between these two worlds.
Okay, so we've got this incredible origin story, but how did we get from that to the character that we all recognize today? Well, the answer is in how his legend was pieced together, from bits of even older myths, and maybe even some historical figures.
So in the really early stories from like the 9th and 12th centuries, he's not even called Merlin. He's just known as the fatherless boy. And the story goes that this tyrant king Vortigern is trying to build a tower, but it just keeps collapsing. His advisors tell him, hey, the only way to fix this is to sacrifice a boy who has no mortal father.
But when they find this boy, he doesn't freak out. He looks at the king and basically says, you've got the wrong idea. He reveals the real problem isn't the construction, it's what's underneath the tower. He tells them that deep in the ground, two dragons are locked in an epic battle. A red one for the native Britons and a white one for the invading Saxons. Their fight is literally shaking the foundations of the kingdom. I mean, what a metaphor, right?
So the character we all picture as Merlin was actually a very deliberate creation. Back in the 12th century, a writer named Geoffrey of Monmouth brilliantly blended two completely separate legendary figures together to create the one iconic wizard we know today.
He took this figure, Merlin Wilt, who was a Welsh prophet who kind of went mad and lived like a wild man in the forest. And he combined his story with Ambrosius Aurelianus, who was this Romano-British war leader and the original fatherless boy from the collapsing tower story. Put them together, and poof, you get Merlin.
So what's the takeaway from all this? When you put his demonic birth, his divine rescue, and all his legendary actions together, you end up with a character who is so much more than just a simple wizard. You get a really profound lesson.
A good way to describe Merlin is as a holy devil. It sounds like a total paradox, I know, but it fits him perfectly. He's the bridge between the old world of wild, primal, earthy magic and the new world of Christian morality and the structured code of honor you see in Camelot. He's carrying the darkness of where he came from, but he uses it to serve the light.
And if you could boil Merlin's entire, incredible life down to just one single powerful message, this has got to be it. He was literally born to be evil. He was the product of a demonic plot to end the world, and yet, through one choice made for him, and then a lifetime of his own, he carved out a totally different path.
And that, really, is the ultimate lesson of his legend. It leaves us with a pretty powerful question, doesn't it? If the son of a demon, born to be the Antichrist, can choose to become the builder of a golden age, what does that say about the power that lies in our own choices?